Hello everyone, good evening. I'm bang on time tonight, and we're waiting so we can begin our discussion on social entrepreneurship. And I'm just going to see if we can invite a few more people. I had a really hard time inviting people to this event. For some reason I would invite, and then at the end of after selecting everything, then it would just tell me there was an error in inviting, so I could not effectively invite people to this discussion. So I'm hoping that some people will remember, or some people will just come across it and see it's going on. So today we are going to speak about social entrepreneurship. And for some people, it might be sort of a new term, but it's not in any way a new concept. We know about business, and we know about social programs, we know about social enterprises, but a lot of us don't know it in that way. And many people mainstream, you will not really know how they work. So I decided to do a discussion about social enterprises because I think it is something that is very much needed, especially in a developing country like ours, where we have so many social problems, and the government is so we don't have a lot of money in our country. Our government has a limited budget, and there are many things that we can see we need to have done, but it may not be something that the government can take care of at the time, or the government may not be able to provide those services for us, or it may not be able to provide those services effectively, because we know government is not at all for any sort of profit, and it is so much controlled by making people happy, and it's so much about getting people satisfied so that they can vote for us next time. So sometimes the objectives of government administrations, the objective of a particular parliamentary representative, or the objective of even local government authorities may not be the same as everybody in the communities. And that is another thing. That's another reason why I think that local government is so important. Don't mind me, I may look like I'm reading, but I'm just trying to send some last minute invitations to people because I was unable to send the invitations the regular way. It kept telling me I had an error, so I'm now trying to send a few invitations so we can have more people join us today. So I do not want it to be long today. I want to be like between 30 and 40 minutes. I don't want it to go to an hour. But anyway, let's see. So for now, I'm going to describe to you how I want this discussion to go tonight. We will be talking a bit about social entrepreneurship and how we can use social entrepreneurship to help the government to fulfill needs that we have in our society. That the government cannot do everything. No government can do everything, and even in other economies that have more money than us, they have the social entrepreneurship is really a growing concept, and around the world, a lot of public services are being provided by social enterprises. And I think that is one of the areas that we are very much lacking, because I do not believe that we have enough social enterprises in Dominica. And I will describe what a social enterprise is. Now, we most of us know what is entrepreneurship because people talk about it a lot. And so we know entrepreneurship to be a person who is creating opportunities through creativity, creating opportunities for business prospects, and being able to make a profit. I'm trying to say it in the simplest terms as possible. I do not want to use any jargon, any technical jargon, or any economic jargon. So it basically, you create opportunities for business out of nothing, basically. Social entrepreneurship is basically where social problems meet entrepreneurship, meaning that you create opportunities to solve social problems by whatever level of creativity that you have, in a way that it will be sustainable, and sometimes it might be profitable, but the main objective is not to be profitable. However, it is possible to be profitable. Social enterprises are not the number one choice of most people, because most people just want to start a business so that they can make money or make profits. But social enterprises are very attractive to people who want to make a difference and want to solve problems that are in the community, in the country, in the world. So a social enterprise is an option if you want to make a difference, if you want to do something and nobody's doing it. If, let's say, a simple thing such as a problem that we have in Roseau with garbage collection not being efficient enough, because we all know that the garbage collection in Roseau, and I believe that it is the responsibility of the Roseau City Council, and we all know that it is not very efficient in doing that effectively. So that a social enterprise out of that could be a young person purchases a truck and they speak with the various business places in Roseau to probably daily, so every day they would pick up the garbage and dump it. That is a social enterprise, because it may not be a profitable thing, but it will be, because garbage and garbage disposal is quite lucrative. But most of the time, something like that will be a social enterprise, because it is actually helping society. Even if it may be profitable, it's helping society and it's solving a problem. And the problem is sanitation, cleanliness, and health. Now, social enterprises may target these things. Social enterprises may target poverty, it may target homelessness, it may target unemployment, disability, diseases, and so forth. So it's very important for us to really open our minds to social enterprises, and for us to become a little more philanthropic, because we have to be for each other. Most of the times people want money just to start a business to make money, but they don't really want to help anybody. I have the experience, I've worked with entrepreneurs in Dominica extensively, and most times people start a business, the businesses do not even employ anybody. They start a business and they try to do everything themselves. Sometimes it is because they do not have enough money, but sometimes it's because they just do not, they're just more concerned about, providing for themselves, and not really concerned about helping out in the society. But a social enterprise is one that, okay, for example, it would be something like recycling is a great social enterprise. So if you invest in equipment for recycling of plastics or of paper or something, then you will be able to, one, solve a social problem, two, you will be able to provide employment, because the social enterprises are also financially sustainable. So you will start a social enterprise and you will plan it so that you can be financially stable, financially sustainable. And financially sustainable would mean you can take care of yourself financially. You can generate enough funds to have the business running. So it does not have to be a for profit. You don't have to make profit. As long as you can keep business going, you can employ a few people, that will help society. So even if you start, let's say an afternoon reading class, and it's not for a lot of money, it's probably like $10 a month per student, and you have about 20 students or 30 students, although it may not be able to provide a full income, but it can also help. And at the same time, it will be helping young children in your society, young children in your community, and so on. So it's like there are small things like that, and there are other big things that you can actually invest in. So some people, you might be able to use funds, use savings, and also apply for grants. You can apply for grants, and this grant will be able to sustain or to start or launch whatever project that you want to do in terms of social entrepreneurship. So I would be very happy if more people would take that route instead of instead of just opening a shop or something, or just selling, just doing retail and so on. Sometimes, wait, I want to see something, because I'm not seeing any comments again today, so I have a way to counteract that. Wait, I want to see something. Because I am not looking at. Oh, so this is. Sorry. This has a delay, so I'm just using my other phone for to see the comments. So yeah, thank you, sis. We need to see more social enterprises here on our island. That's true. So, and I would really like to be one of the people encouraging it, because one of the things that I like to do most is project planning. I like to do those things. So if let's say someone wants to start an enterprise, the most important thing would be, what problem do you want to solve? Once you decide what problem you want to solve, it could be anything, any problem in your society, because that is based on your own creativity and how you believe you can solve the problem. The first thing you try to determine, what are the problems in my society or in my community. Sometimes you may have a community and there's a basketball court. You have all the facilities there in the community, and there's no community life. There's nothing going on. Some young guys, even in Fokole, some young guys, they actually just start their own leagues. So they do their leagues, and then they have their little activities going on. They raise a little funds from teams joining. They raise a little funds from, if you are able to collect entry funds and entry fees and so on, that would be better. People are able to come to the games and make a little money, sell something. So these things are actually social enterprises. As I said, the concept is not new, but the wording is like people are now calling it something. So long time ago we always had sports going on, and now we don't have much sports going on. And in Dominica there's not really much money in sports because of how we take it, So sometimes in your community you can do something like that, and it is a social enterprise, because sometimes it keeps the young guys away from trouble. It keeps them fit. It creates a public place for people to socialize and so on, and for people to be able to make a little money. So it's not a new concept, but we just need to be think more about our brothers and sisters, especially the less fortunate. Another thing I wanted to say about social enterprises is that even if we do not have the money, because the government sometimes, okay, every year when the government makes its budget, they make allocations to certain areas of the economy. Now it is up to people to be able to capitalize on it. Now, in order to capitalize on it, let's say you understand that the this year's budget they will be allocating $15 million to entrepreneurs, or they will be putting $15 million into, let me make something up. Let's say they're putting $50 million into building, into poverty reduction. Now it is up to you, it's up to people to be creative and sit and think of, what can I do? Is there any project or anything I can do as a social enterprise to be able to be classified in that category? And therefore, if you can do that, you are able to write a project or find somebody to write a project for you that will fit the mandate, or that will fit under the category of whatever these funds are to be allocated for. So once you can do that, and you can get it to show the impact that you want to make, I'm sure that the government will consider it and could help to provide the funds. Because as we know, or as some of us may know, the budget is not very specific. The budget just basically says how much money we're going to spend on this and how much money we're going to spend on that. There may be some concrete plans already made, but it's not set in stone exactly what they're going to do. Or they may not even have exactly a plan, an exact plan of what exactly they're going to do in that area, or with those funds. So I am sure people are free to write projects that will solve certain problems, and I'm sure the government will be happy to receive that kind of assistance, because basically, if people are offering to do it and they can show that they will do it effectively and efficiently, and they will be cost effective, obviously, because they're not the government. So the thing is, a lot of governments around the world are taking advantage of the opportunities which are presented through social entrepreneurship. Because one, some of those problems that the government is burdened with, example, poverty, unemployment, social entrepreneurship can help it, right? So it can also be for profit, where the profit or surpluses are reinvested back into the community. Exactly. So if you're doing it, and if let's say your plan is something that is generating funds, and you can make a profit, you can reinvest it into the community. Also, it does not have to be a non-profit. So sometimes people equate social entrepreneurship with non-profit. Social entrepreneurship, you could be non-profit. That is, most times it would be if, let's say, there's no real market for whatever you're providing. So if, let's say, you're providing some sort of assistance to disabled, or you're providing the service to people that cannot afford, like most of the poverty reduction enterprises, they are non-profit. And when you're non-profit, you can get funds from all sorts of organizations, and there are many organizations out there, locally and internationally, that actually have the funds, that are actually offering the funds. So if we are a little bit more, we think more about other people and how can I help people, then it would be easier to think of things that you can do, and seek the organizations that may be funding such initiatives. Sometimes, so we have non-profit ones, those that are providing services to people who cannot afford. Then we have those that are providing services to a limited market. So there may be some for you may be able to charge, but you may not be able to charge a full market price, or whatever you would need to charge in order for you to make a profit, or in order for you to meet all your costs. So these may be non-profit as well. But then there's also those social enterprises that can generate proper funds. For example, what I mentioned, the garbage collection. Garbage collection is one of the social enterprises that is the most lucrative in terms of simplicity and being able to generate funds. So I wanted to talk about what they are and why are they important. I think I said about why they are important and how can they help the government. So I think it is something that the government, I'm sure, would like to publicize, but probably for some reason much focus has not been placed on it. And I think it is a very important focus that government should start looking at ways to promote social entrepreneurship. And we see a lot of programs that offer money for entrepreneurship, and that entrepreneurship that they're offering money for most times is commercial entrepreneurship, because they right now what we are more thinking of is profit and profit and profit. But it would be nice and it would be helpful if a certain allocation was made for enterprises that were not for profit, that they could have funds available in one of those programs, one of those entrepreneurship programs, that we could, allocate a particular amount of funds to social programs. Because like in other places, we have private citizens getting together and providing public services for the government. We do not have that. We do not really have that in Dominica. I cannot give you one example of something where a situation where we have private enterprises, or we have private citizens providing services or helping the government to provide services. I think it would be better and it would show a lot of support by the government if the government would show that support by trying to encourage social entrepreneurship. And in order to encourage social entrepreneurship, the government could, as I just said, offer a funding program that would fund such programs. Secondly, they could they could set up a legal basis for them, because right now what we have either for-profit, we have an entrepreneur, we have a for-profit business, we have a cooperative, we have sole trader, cooperative, partnership, private limited company, and so on. We do not have anything. We have non-profit as well. But a social enterprise doesn't have to be a non-profit, and it doesn't have to be any of the above. So even if it is a social enterprise, and even if you're doing it by yourself, there should be some sort of form. But I think we have not gotten to that level of development in terms of these things. We are just a baby. This year will be our what anniversary? I'm not even sure, but we're less than 50 years old. So we're just a baby. In terms of country and age, we're just a baby. So some of those things will be things that are probably already in effect in the bigger countries or in the more advanced countries. But in Dominica, we are just starting. And I think that it would be very helpful to the government and to the people if we would focus more on such enterprises. And the government will be able to promote that by providing funds and providing an avenue that encourages people to go into that area. So I wanted to talk about that alone today. And let me see if I missed out any points that I wanted to bring up, because yeah, also public procurement. Now, we know that the government has a lot of things to do. There are a lot of, all the different ministries, they have a lot of tasks and a lot of jobs to do. There are some things that can be done by, you know, private citizens or through social enterprises, and these things will be done more efficiently. For example, if you're talking about this, you're talking about dispensing things like unemployment benefits and so on, or qualifying for unemployment benefits. I think unemployment benefits and, you know, what people call the red clinic, we should have, even if, because I understand that there's some reason that the desire is not to put it with the social services welfare thing, that they want it to be separate. I think that in order to make that separate and make it legitimate, the better thing could have been to use an organization, some social enterprise that would be somehow having a proper qualification procedure to have the people qualify, or to have them qualified and registered, or work with them in some way so that they can find employment, and so they would get these benefits, but they would try to find employment or find a way for them not to be coming every week. So that, I think that is why they say that social entrepreneurship is creative, because you take a simple phenomenon, a simple concept like what we call the red clinic. I do not know the real name for it. I don't know if there's a real name for it. But if we were to remove it from the present state as it is and put it into a state where we probably have a social enterprise taking care of it, then it would be more efficient, because people would have to report, and, you know, report what was done with the money, who received it, and, you know, and they would be able to track the progress of the people that are receiving the funds. So if you're receiving funds every day, every week, you're receiving funds for a whole year, then obviously the funds are not helping you. But if you are receiving funds, and then somehow you can come to the office, you can speak, you can talk, you can probably get some sort of counsel, some sort of assistance in finding a job or something like that, then it would be better. Thank you. It would be a better way to deal with that. I believe that welfare probably has a system like that. I want to believe that this is this kind of system that welfare has, that, you know, you don't just say you disadvantage and you get the money every month. Somehow you have somebody to talk to, or somebody that can counsel you and probably assist you in finding employment or getting away from the situation that you are presently. And that is the important thing, because most times we get a situation when we are helping someone, and we help just to keep on helping and helping and helping. But the real objective should be helping to move the person forward, and not just helping just to know you're helping forever. So that's basically what I wanted to say about social entrepreneurship. I will say that the government has been putting a lot into entrepreneurship, and they have been making funds available for people to start businesses. We have the DYBT making funds available for young people between the age of 18 and 35 to start businesses. And then we have the small business development, we have the Ministry of Commerce and Small Business, which helps everybody. I think that these two organizations, I've worked with both of them, and I think they are both quite efficient in what they do. The only problem is that the only problem with the two of them is the concept, is the concept of the masses of what this free money is. The money for DYBT, it is not free money. You are actually getting a guarantee for a loan, so you actually go to the bank and take a loan. But some people, when they get the loan, they just consider it free money because the government somehow is intertwined in DYBT, so they figure it's government's money and then they don't pay it back, right? So that is a real problem. So young people are willing to jeopardize their future and their credit. You know, like if I take a loan of $20,000 and I never paid back, and then I want to get a loan to build a house, I'm going to get some problems. But a lot of them are not thinking about it like that. So some people are getting that push, and you know, the mentality of people when they get that push, it is not helping. So the mentality is not helping with that push. Now with the Ministry of Commerce Small Business is the same thing. So a lot of people get money and they use it wisely. They do their little business with it. Some people, they get the money and it's they have all their plans to do business, and then when they get the money, I don't know what happens, but they forget all about the business, and then other things happen, you know, and then, you know, the cash at the moment is more important than the future of the business. And so the thing with social enterprises is when someone gets money for something like that, the push is not on profit, but the push is in having an impact. And when you are working towards goals such as, you know, to see how many people have you helped, how far have you taken these people from A to B, these things, when if an organization has to work towards these things, trust me, they will work harder. And I would really like to see that more focus is put on such enterprises and more is made available, because I'm sure, I am almost certain that if someone makes a plan for a social enterprise, they may not be successful in either of the programs. Because the first program, well, for DYBT you have to be making money because you're going to be paying a loan back. So for the government business development program, that's where you probably will be able to get that. But it would just be better if it was actually mentioned and it was actually promoted, and people were actually taught about it and given enough information that they would be able to start and think about their own enterprises that they could start. So all in all, I just wanted to draw some awareness towards social enterprises and say and discuss a little bit about how it would help the economy, and how it would help people on a whole, and how it could help our government. Because I always talk about local government, and I always talk about the fact that a lot of things that are being taken care of by central government should be a responsibility of local government. And I believe strongly in communities, in community government, you know, in community self-government. When I say that, I don't mean self-government like the overall. I mean community should be able to decide their development and their progress and how they go forward. So, you know, because I have even in my community, when we have development projects that are brought in, development projects that are being done by the local government, we have situations where what we believe in our community is most needed, or probably where, let's say if they have to make a drain, like fix a drain or something, what we might believe is the drain or the area that needs the most work might not be what central government might come and do. And we have had a situation like that where some work had to be done, and we knew what areas we wanted the work done, and then when they came, they just did wherever they wanted to do. And it was not very effective, because, you know, the people in the community know what they need, and they know what is bothering them. They know which areas need help, needs work. They know which areas are the weakest. So I think they should be the ones directing their progress. And in order to avoid situations like when the government just comes in and does things, and it may not be what is most needed, there might be something else that needs more immediate attention than it. To avoid that, there would be a need for such social enterprises, community enterprises that will take care of the community. And in that, we'll be able to make much better use of businesses which are keeping to their social responsibilities. Because a lot of businesses may have budgets are small, but some businesses may have a little bit left over, or a little bit that they want to commit to community work, and so on. So there's also that possibility. So if you have if you set up an enterprise that a business might probably benefit from socially, if they are investing in it, or if they are partaking in it in some way, then you may be able to get funds from private businesses to do social enterprises. So the possibilities are endless, and I don't think it's limited, even if sometimes you may have, even if sometimes, you know, the profit, it might not be for profit. But the most important thing is that you can provide employment, you can solve a problem in your society, in your community, you can make life a better place, and you can help to develop your country without sitting and waiting for the government to do everything. Because the government, as I say, the government cannot do everything. So without going any further, and before I have to start repeating things, I don't know if I've already repeated things before. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything that they want to say. If anybody's looking, wants to make a comment, anybody wants to make an actual comment, a video comment, you may indicate to me in a comment saying that you want to do a video comment, and I could let you have a say, let you have a word to with the audience and say something. So if anybody at this moment wants to say anything, you can indicate to me. So I'm gonna probably look for a minute and see who wants to say something. If anybody, if you want to say anything, you can say it, or you can indicate to me that you want to make a video comment. You can just comment video comment. That's a new feature that I want to put on my show, on my discussion, because I'm really in the developing stage right now, and I want to be able to get the views of other people, and I want other people to, because sometimes when we write, we cannot really write all what we want to say. So you might want to make a comment, and you might not be feeling like, you might not feel like wanting to write what you want to say. So if you have something to say, I can give you the opportunity to say something. So you all might be shy tonight. Probably somebody might be a little brave the next time, because that will be a feature. That will be a permanent feature in my discussions. So all those people looking, I'm seeing you all, you know. Nobody wants to say something. Nobody, not even hello. Yes, that's a great idea. Do you want to say something? Wait. All right, so I guess I have a very, yes, Brent, welcome. You're a little late, but I'm just about to go, but you can still. Oh, why everybody so late? Mommy, you just come in? Why so late? Next time? Okay, well, everybody seems to be a bit shy today, so I hope that next time you guys will want to join me in the discussion, because as I said, you see the name of it, it's a discussion. So it's supposed to be discussing. I discuss and you help out. So I really appreciate you guys listening anyway. I mean, I am not going to force you to talk, and the next thing you don't want to listen the next time, because you don't want to be forced to talk. Yeah, so we were speaking about social entrepreneurship, how you can start social enterprises so that you can help to solve social problems in your community. And I was saying how it is something that is very much needed in Dominica, because we have a lot of little problems that can be solved, that some of them can be solved, or a great deal of them can be alleviated through social enterprises, and not having to sit and wait for the government to do particular things. and I was just giving a little bit of information, just discussing a little bit about what I know about social enterprises and how it can help. So that's basically what we were talking about, and I think for now that's probably it for tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed the discussion, although I was the only one talking. I hope that you all enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Usually I don't have the topic for the next discussion during the present discussion, so I usually sit and think about it and think about what I should talk about after. And sometimes I talk about it based on something I thought of while I'm doing this discussion. So I will let you all know what it is, and I'll send my invites out as usual, and I hope that you will continue to listen to me and continue to share my videos so that other people can get into that thinking and that discussion going on. So thank you very much, you all have a good night, and I will be back on Thursday at 9 our time. I don't know what part of the world you are, Brent, so you will have to calculate it. I don't know where you are. So it starts at 9 p.m. Dominica time. So this will be it, and good night, everyone. It has been a pleasure. Bye. Okay, good, then same time like me, so 9 o'clock your time. So bye guys, see you next time. Share the video so other people can get into that discussion, and so other people can probably join me next week. Bye.